we are going to start with lecture number 3. And as you can see, we are going to talk about articles A and N. These are indefinite articles indeed. We are talking about pronouns. We will talk about also verbs to be. Number 4, item 4, we will talk about have, has, and had, previewing vocabulary. Articles, indefinite articles, the A and the N. In general, A is used whenever we deal with singular nouns. A and N precede singular nouns. So we say an apple, for example, or a cat, where cat and apple are singular nouns. If the word starts with a consonant, the A is used. Say I say a cat, a cow, a boy. But if the word starts with a vowel, such as E, A or O, we have to use an. So we say an orange, an apple, for example, an interesting lesson. So if the word starts with a vowel, the an is used. The vowels are A, E, and O. And if you notice, I have add U, and I put U between two brackets, because sometimes the U sounds as a vowel, and as such it is considered part of the vowels. If, for example, in a word like anda, the A, here the U, which is pronounced as A, is a vowel. But the U itself could be considered a consonant if it comes with a word like university. So, university, in university, we pronounce U. We do not say A. But in a word like under, the U is pronounced as A, and as a result, the U in the word university is not considered a vowel, and as such, the an is not used at all, but the A. So I say a university, but not an university, because I pronounce it as U, but not as a. But I say an underground train, for example, because the U is pronounced as a vowel, a. So there are so many examples. For example, I say a book, an orange, a car, a story. A story, I use A because it starts with a S sound, which is not a vowel at all. I write an important note here. Remember that all the above words are singular, so the a and the an could not be used with the plural. I couldn't say cows. This is wrong. A cow is correct, is right. And in addition, we cannot use a and or an before proper nouns. I couldn't say a Ahmed or an Ahmed, a Huda, a Amina, an Amina. With the proper nouns, we couldn't use a or an. It is an important note, please. I couldn't say a Riyadh, which is a city. Okay? Here we have some examples. I hope you can do them at home, and you will find out what I've just said. I just want to make that first example or a question. Could you please give me a piece of cake? Okay, I couldn't say an piece of cake. Why? Because P is not a vowel, so an is wrong to be used. Okay? I can say, number 2, a dog is an animal. Notice that with dog, which starts with the D, which is not a vowel, I used a. But with animal, which starts with A, which is a vowel, I used an animal. Okay? We have just talked about the indefinite articles A and an. In addition, we have definite article, which is the. So if I say the boy, this means I'm talking about a certain boy, a boy that I know, Okay, so it is a definite article. That is a definite article, a specific object that both the person speaking and the listener know. Okay, the person who speaks and the listener knows the boy we are talking about. So I say the boy because both of us, me and the interlocutor, the one with whom I'm talking, know that we are talking about this person in particular. The teacher is very good, isn't he? I use the with teacher because we know the teacher about whom we're talking. So we use the definite article the. Or if I say the book, because we are talking about a book that you and I know. Okay. Notice this is a good example. I live in a house. First of all, I say a house in general because it is not known. I'm talking about a house in general. But later, the house is quite old and has for example, bedrooms. In the second sentence, I say the house because now we know the house we are talking about, the house where I live. So it became a specific house, a house that you and I know it. In the first sentence, I live in a house. But in the second sentence, I determine the fact that I'm talking about the house where I live. So house in the second sentence is preceded by the definite article the. Don't use an article with countries. I couldn't say a Jordan. Okay? With countries, state countries, prevent lakes and mountains. Okay? This is an important note, by the way. Use an article with bodies of water, oceans, and seas. For example, if we have only one thing, we have to use the different article with. For example, we have only one moon, so we say the moon, the sun, where the sun and the moon are preceded by the definite article the. The Atlantic Ocean, because we have only one Atlantic Ocean, so it could be preceded by the definite article the. These are also important notes that I wrote in red lines. Don't use an article when you are speaking about things in general. I like Russian tea. In general, Russian tea. She likes reading books. In general, she likes reading books. So an article could not be used with instances with examples like these. Also, don't use an article when you are speaking about meals, places, and transport. He has breakfast at home. I go to university. He comes to work by taxi. These are examples of what I have just mentioned. Don't use an article when you are speaking about meals, places, and transport. These are the pronouns. Subject pronouns. I, he, she, it, you, we, they. I will give you just the first example. If I'm talking about myself, and where I am the subject of a given sentence, I say I. If I is an object, it becomes me. If it is possessive, it is my. If it is possessive pronoun, it becomes mine. And reflexives, it becomes myself. So I say, I ate an apple. I ate an apple. He visited me, where me is object pronoun. My car is black, for example. Mine, for example, somebody might ask, whose pen is this? You say, mine. This means it belongs to you. And myself, you're talking about yourself. Subject pronouns like I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they function as the subject of a sentence. Object pronouns, me, you, him, her, it, us, you, them, serve as the object of a verb. Object of a verb, for example, we might say, I, subject pronoun, visited them. Them is object pronoun, refers to they, to plural, okay? And the rest are examples of what I also have just said. We have possessive pronouns like mine, yours. I might say, whose pen is this? Somebody might say mine. I might say his. This means that this pen belongs to that person. Okay? I might say ours. Okay? We have indeed possessive pronouns and we have possessive adjectives. The difference between them is the following. Possessive adjective like my, I say my book. It is to be followed by an object. But possessive pronouns like mine is not followed by any object. So I say mine, his, ours, theirs. It is not followed by an object. Let me say an object, but if it is a possessive adjective, it is to be followed by an object. So I say my pen, his pen, her pen, their pen, our pen. But if you use possessive pronouns, they must not be followed by an object. So we say, if somebody asks whose pen is this, we say yours, ours, hers. And we notice that they are not followed by an object. Demonstrative pronouns, place. If the place is near, we say here. If it is far, we say there. Singular. I say this. If it is far, that. Plural. These, near, far, those. So I say this is my house. That is our car over there. That is our car over there, because you are talking about something which is a little bit far from you. I just want to make the first question for you. The doctor gave, we have to use object pronoun because we are given. The doctor gave us a lecture about pronouns. We couldn't say the doctor gave we, because we is a subject pronoun. We couldn't say our because it is possessive adjective, and we couldn't say ours because it is a possessive pronoun. So the correct is to use an object pronoun, which is in this case us. So the doctor gave us a lecture about pronouns. Subjects, I, he, she, it, you, we, they, all of them are considered subject pronouns. In the present we say I am, he is, she is, it is, you are, we are, and they are. In the past, becomes was, is becomes was, is becomes was as well, are becomes were. After has, have, and had, we couldn't say was and we couldn't say we have to use only been. So I say I have been, he has been, for example. But it is wrong to use any other, let me say, tense, like was or or is or are, if you have has, have, or had. Here are other examples. Have in the present comes after I, you, they, we, or after plural nouns. I say I have. In the present you have, they have. But with she, he, and it, have becomes has. So I say he has, she has, it has. Okay. In the past, have and has become had. So comes had, past, comes after all kinds of nouns, plural or singular. I say I had, he had, because we're talking about the past form of has and have. Here are vocabulary. I just want you, if you please, to know the meanings of these words in English. For example, I might ask you an exam. The word copy in this sentence means A, write the same thing. B, C, and D, you have to choose A, which is write the same thing. In other words, the word copy means write the same thing. The word wonderful means very, very good, very fantastic, or fantastic, sorry, okay? And at the end, I would like to thank you so much. Please give attention to every single word I said. You have examples, you have vocabulary. I want you to know the meanings of these words in English. Like the example I have just given, copy means so and so. Okay? Thank you so much. Inshallah, we will meet in lecture 4. شغلة